What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another beautiful episode of Cold Takes from the Land.
Cold Takes from the Land, where you get the coldest takes from the hottest Cleveland sports fans.
And what the fuck's happening, buddy? We recorded our
We
video.
got Call it.
God damn it. And that's the video, guys. We hope you enjoy watching. No, I'm just kidding.
That's all. I'll tell you what's happening. We're in a rain delay, and I'm watching fucking Tony Grossi or somebody out here play golf.
Yeah, who wants to watch that shit?
Yeah, nobody.
And you know what, buddy?
That much.
I'm sick and tired. We recorded our Guardians video. We were optimistic. And since that video, we're 5-8, and we're losing, and in a rain delay.
Losing in a rain delay.
Yeah. Losing in a rain delay. And if we lose this game, we're now tied for the division lead. What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not good, brother. The only thing I'm holding solace in is that the Twins are getting slapped around again.
Where are we? It's not good.
No. Sooner or later, we're going to have to start playing well. I don't know if it's just our bullpen shot or what the hell's going on. Also, I thought of something the other day. You know how yesterday we had that doubleheader?
Yeah.
And we started Logan Allen and frickin' Nick Sandlin. I thought about it, and I'm like, we have four healthy starting pitchers. Why the hell did we have to start one of those two guys? Because we still have Boyd, we have Gavin, we have Bybee, and we have frickin' what's his face? Who the hell am I missing? Bybee, Gavin, Boyd, and Lively. So we have four guys. Cobb is injured. Why the fuck did we have to start one of those bumps?
Because we're in Cleveland. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought of that yesterday. I was like technically we shouldn't have had to play one of those two idiots.
Right. Well,
but we did, and we lost both.
Well, we sure lost them both, buddy. But since our last recording, we've gotten shellacked a handful of times.
Yep.
And basically what I can gather is the pitching is still all over the place, and we cannot hit on a fucking consistent basis. And this is a problem. Should have been fixed at the damn trade deadline, and we didn't do shit.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. We had freaking Paul Dolan. I was tweeting earlier. I saw they had Paul Dolan in the fucking announcer's box right before the rain delay happened, and I tweeted, let me pull up my Twitter here. I think I tweeted, Rick Manning should RKO Dolan out of the announce box. Yeah, I said Manning should RKO Dolan out of the announcer's box. Fucking disgrace of an owner.
Jesus. I mean, you're not wrong there, bud. You're not fucking wrong. But
yeah. The hitting is concerning because we've been hitting all year. So the fact that the last month and a half we've just struggled to hit the ball, that's very concerning because you're about to go into the playoffs, whether you get in as a wild card, miss it entirely, or you end up winning the division somehow at this point. Not being able to hit is a big problem, especially not having right-handed hitters. David Fry, I think they had a right-hander on the mound tonight, Kansas City, and David Fry was struggling. I saw the game cast picture of Lane Thomas's first at bat, and it was one of the worst things I've ever seen. He swung at two pitches that are like a foot out of the strike zone, and then struck out on like four pitches.
Sounds about right, buddy. Yeah, it's been a sad sack of games recently. We're 3-7 in our last 10. We're on the way to losing this one. Obviously, we still got to see how that goes. But we went from comfortably in the lead in the division, having one of the best records in baseball, to fucking, when you look at the wild card, obviously we're still technically in the division lead because this game isn't over yet. But let's say we lose.
We still technically have a first round bye still right now. I think we're right behind the Yankees.
Right. Well, let's say this shit keeps happening, and when you look at our record compared to some teams in the wild card, we're a bad stretch of games from being out of the fucking wild card, bud.
Yeah, that's what I'm more so worried about. If you didn't have a third place team that was right on your heel, I mean, the Twins are only right behind the Kansas City Royals, so if you didn't have that third place team, I'd be a little bit more confident because then you're going to make the playoffs. You're just going to have to fight from the wild card spot.
Yeah, you're like you said, we're lucky that the Twins are only 4-6 in their last 10, and they haven't, been close contested either. But
yeah, it's been a shit show, buddy. I mean, the hitting, the same thing happened last year. Granted, he was hurt part of the year, but Josh Naylor he's like a first half hitter. he'll kill it before the All-Star break, and then he either gets hurt, has nagging injuries, or just doesn't do shit after the All-Star break, basically. And I was kind of talking with somebody the other day. I'm like, it's getting to the point where it's like, I wouldn't be upset if the Guardians didn't extend him. Granted, I don't know how much he's going to warrant in the free agency market, but it's just a weird player because he has home runs, he has power, but he's got a fucking horrible eye at the plate. I mean, this guy swings at some of the worst balls I've ever seen. And his brother does the same thing, honestly. I mean, granted, growing up in Canada and playing ball, they probably pitching off of a lot of the same guys, and now being in the same organization, they face the same guys. But I don't know what you do with a guy like that. Like, I'd like to re-sign him, but it's one of those players that I think a team's going to stretch and overpay for, and I just don't know if you could do it with his average being 230-something. He has the power, but he's not doing anything right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that for the right bargain, if he doesn't command an insane amount in free agency, like, he'd be a nice guy to keep. Because, like, he does blast the ball a good bit about at times, and he's second.
He's driving his price down now. Yeah, that's the only good thing about it.
Yeah, his average is down to 234, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure the last time we recorded he was inching back up to 250. So, rough stretch. I'm noticing Quan, you know, he was batting like, I mean, his average is still 302, which on the surface looks really good, but his first bit of games, he was like monumentally like batting like crazy, and like, so he's having a bad stretch, you know, like, I mean, it's when I look at it, it just seems like everyone except Jose Ramirez is having a really bad stretch. I mean, Jimenez is hovering barely at average. Freeman's batting 207. Rocchio's batting 207. David Fry's batting 260, which has cooled down a bit from his start to the year. Bo Naylor's been improving. He's kept improving because he's up to 206 now, and he started the year fucking horrendous. And then, you know, Schneeman's at like 240, but he's another guy who just started hot and cooled off. And, you know, when you look at other guys, like obviously Arias isn't playing for us right now, but, you know, he was batting 222. I mean, Noel's a bright spot, I guess.
Yeah, he's got a lot of power. I mean, he swings at some bad pitches too, but that's a guy that if he played all year, he would have a decent amount more home runs than Josh Naylor probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's
a guy you keep in the lineup.
Yeah, in 118 at-bats, he's batting 254 with 12 home runs and 23 RBIs. And, you know, so in 304 less at-bats, he's only 16 home runs behind Naylor. So what you said might not necessarily be wrong. But outside of that, there's not a whole lot of bright spots. I guess the new pitchers we brought in, Boyd and Cobb, I mean, they've looked like pretty like fine.
They've looked decent. The pitching's stabilized, honestly. I mean, outside of Allen absolutely getting shellacked and Sandlin only pitched, I think, 3 innings, but the bullpen gave it up. But the pitching's kind of stabilized, which is the scary thing. It's just our pitching's probably the best it's been starting-wise right now, and we're struggling more than we have all season.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we can get everyone back healthy, because obviously what Cobb fucking fractured his fingernail and is apparently can't play for some time for that.
That was a thing.
But you know, if we could get a lineup of Bybee, Lively, Gavin, Boyd, and Cobb, that'd be pretty cool. Because Allen's been horrendous. Carrasco obviously was horrendous, so we want to avoid him starting. I mean, McKenzie's kind of a weird one. Like, is he someone you see us calling back up? Because I know he's been super up and down in AAA, and a lot of people are thinking he's just got to get that elbow surgery.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I would call him up before I call Allen up again. Allen doesn't even look like the same guy as opposed to last year. Last year he was okay, but he's just getting shellacked this year. Just everything. He's given up freaking... He'll throw 3 balls and then throw one right down the middle, and it'll get crushed for a home run.
Yeah.
I just don't understand what they're doing with the team right now. Because in the first 5 months of the year, it felt like they were very proactive about calling guys up, not worrying about sticking on one guy for too long. They were trying out different things, trying Arias out, Freeman, Rocchio, all these different shortstop options. They called up Schneeman. We brought up Noel a month and a half, 2 months ago. And then it just kind of stopped, after the All-Star break. You have 5 or so guys that are just not Major League ready right now. And Schneeman, Freeman, Rocchio, honestly, Hedges shouldn't even fucking be near the team. And it's you have, all these guys that shouldn't be on the team, yet you're not calling anybody up. Yeah. And we only have 20-some games left. Why wouldn't you give a guy like George Valera or Kyle Manzardo another shot? I don't get it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it seems kind of silly to not, make a move, have some urgency. Like not only the fact that we didn't make any moves at the trade deadline, which when you talk about the Dolans, that's a whole other conversation. But from a managerial perspective, like you're right. I mean, there's a complete lack of, like I said, urgency because you're on this really rough patch. I mean, like I said, we're 3-7 in our last 10. Could be looking at 3-8 in our last 11, depending on how this game goes once we get out of rain delay, whether that's tonight or tomorrow. But it's a bit concerning and really disappointing for a team that started out like firing on all cylinders and looked like one of the best teams in baseball and a team that could really challenge. To me, you never know, maybe win the World Series. I mean, the title of our last video was "Can the Guardians win the World Series?" and that was only 2 weeks ago, and now it feels fucking horrendous right now. Like it feels like we have no shot. It feels like we're either a first round exit or we could even miss the playoffs if it keeps going this way, and it ain't good.
Yeah, it's how quick things can change in baseball. I mean, I don't know if they're just waiting till September 1st at this point so they could do the September call-ups and call up 3 guys without having to send down anybody. But I mean, that's a week away, and you're about to give up first place in the division. So I don't know what the delay is with this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at our game that's in rain delay right now. Let's look at this bottom 4. The last 4 guys in our batting order: Schneemann, who's been struggling; Lane Thomas, who's been horrendous; Bo Naylor, who's been better but still barely batting over 200; and then Rocchio, who's also fucking horrendous. Like, how the fuck are you gonna win games? Like
I don't know,
that.
Man. He keeps using guys too that just shouldn't be getting game time, like Schneemann, and I mean, he hit a home run last night. That was a aberration. He hasn't done that in fucking months. So you can't be playing. He seems to put like a handful of guys in the game every day that just shouldn't be in there. Like, we should have a steady lineup of our top 5 guys, throw Jimenez in the back half of that lineup to help that lineup a little bit because he's one of the better hitters in the back half. Have Bo start every game unless it's a day game followed by a night game the previous night, then maybe have Hedges start. But and I just don't know why we're playing Hedges so much. I don't know why Rocchio's fucking playing all the time. I just don't understand.
What I don't understand is I feel like an easy fix is, call up Manzardo, have him, go back and forth between DH and him playing first with Josh, whatever you want to do, or DH, or having Fry DH, and then on games where you want to rest Bo, have Fry play catcher. He's played catcher plenty. He can clearly do the job. Like, obviously, his eye and his overall fielding ability as a catcher is not the same as Bo's, but I mean, dude can crack the ball a lot better than Bo can, and it's just not good. Rocchio's got to get out of here. I mean, I feel like our shortstops have been, I mean, I'd hate to say it, but it almost would be nice to have Ahmed Rosario right now compared to those guys.
Yeah, offensively at least. His defense sucked, but yeah, I mean, you need a bounce on offense. With what we have, it's even more concerning because we have a plethora of shortstop guys that we've drafted over the last 3-4 seasons, and fucking this is the best we got. Like, it ain't good.
I mean, I guess our last hope is obviously that probably won't happen this season, but maybe next season put Jimenez back at shortstop and bring in Bazana, or however you say his name, Bazana.
Bazana, yeah.
Yeah, bring him in because obviously he's a second baseman, so maybe Jimenez is the future at shortstop, which, I mean, that'd be great and all, but then we got to see if, Bazana pans out, which obviously number 1 overall pick, you'd think so, but,
yeah,
not good vibes right now.
No, it's just, it feels like they're punting on another season where we had a chance to make a legit run and at least win one or maybe even win a second round of the playoffs, and it feels like they've just given up all hope of that. I really don't understand what the decision-making process is, because I believe, as far as I know, it's kind of like just any other sport, whether it's football or basketball, where Antoinetti, the GM, is the one that has to make the decisions. I know he gets input from Vogue, the manager, to call up or send guys down, but for a guy that I've generally had a pretty positive view of in Antoinetti, I don't know what the fuck he's been doing the last month and a half.
Yeah, it's just concerning, and it feels like we're in a state of panic right now, especially if we end up losing this game, and then we play the Royals one more time tomorrow in this series, and then who knows how that game goes. I mean, you could very well leave the series second in the division, a game behind, or And then who knows if it spirals from there. You never know if the Twins can catch fire and then take over us, and that is not what you want to happen. And we have this Kansas City series, and then we have a 3-game series against Pittsburgh, and then we got to travel to Kansas City to play them, and then we got to play the Dodgers. So
yeah, we have a really tough stretch of games coming up. Thankfully, Twins too, but yeah, our schedule is not going to be kind to us. That's for sure.
Yeah, so fucking got to figure it out, buddy. And I don't know what else there is to really do outside of make some call ups and hope once we get this full 5-man rotation, some time together, in the consistent rotation, hopefully with no one getting injured, maybe to keep the pitching stable enough. And you never know, teams catch fire at random times. We could catch fire in that last month of the season and carry it into the playoffs, and that'd be awesome. But just from
you need some new faces up here. A lot of these guys, the body language just seems off. I mean, you can tell when we're winning and everything's going well, as opposed to now. Just the confidence isn't there. Guys are swinging at fucking horrendous pitches. I mean, Bo and Josh both had pitches where they were swinging at balls by their feet today. So you got to do your damnness to frickin' even up the series, and then it's looking like we're probably gonna have a doubleheader tomorrow because I think they're gonna get rained out. So you got to do your damnedest to come back and win the game we're currently in the 5th inning, and then you got to try to even up the series and go 2-2.
Yeah, I mean that's the best case scenario, and I mean I think since like mid-July we've been under 500, so it's not like this is a thing of recent happening. Over the last month in totality, it's been a struggle. We just had.
Oh, I know. We were struggling going into the All-Star break too, remember? Because we were kind of like, the guys might be tired. Give us the All-Star break to kind of regroup. And then came out of that. We had like a couple, like 3 or 4 game win streaks, and then it's just been all shit after that. We had a couple 5-6 game losing streaks, and then it's just been bad.
It's not good. It's not good.
Not at all, man. You got to find somebody that 3, 4, 5 spot. Jose has been then Fry and Naylor just have not been doing their job recently, so you got to get those 2 guys doing something.
I mean, you're exactly right, brother. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how else to put it. It's just been a fucking horrendous last bit of the season, and got to figure out something now, or the season's going to go to shit, and this can be another disappointment and a shitty way to end Vogue's first year as manager, and then you have a lot of questions going into the off season. So.
Yeah, you got to do something. You can't take that start we had and then end up finishing 3rd place in the division again like last year. I mean, if that happens, I think you gotta start looking at the front office and start taking people's jobs.
Yeah, got to get me and you in there, buddy.
Yeah, get us in there. Shit, I don't. There's just so many boneheaded mistakes they've made. Like from sending Angel Martinez down, who was playing well, who's a switch hitter, for fucking Schneemann and Freeman to be. I don't know how Freeman has a fucking job. Like, this fucking guy's out here fucking blindfolded at the plate, looking like fucking Catwoman on fucking catnip out here. Fucking pissing me. I don't understand how, like, I mean, weeks ago, like, people on Twitter were calling for the man to be sent down. How the fuck can they not see that he's a bum?
Breaking news, sir. Guards Royals set to resume at 10:20, so here in about 20 minutes, buddy.
Good. Welcome. You can tell I'm angry.
You won't like him when he's angry. Yeah, by the time this is up, we will have the result of that game, most likely. I'm not sure, but
yeah.
Hopefully you can just win, and maybe it'll start there, or we'll lose and we crash and burn.
Yeah. If you win tonight, you're back up to a 2-game lead, and then hopefully a 3-game lead against the Twins if the Braves can hang in.
Yeah, and then the thing that sucks is, like you said, our last stretch of the year is fucking tough.
Yeah, it's real tough. Thankfully, I know the Twins is too. I think they close out with Baltimore on the road, so it might come down. I mean, we play the Twins in another 3-game series too, I think. So we're going to have to pretty much sweep that, and then the Royals have fucking killed us all year. So we're going to have to try to even this up, win one tonight, and then come out tomorrow and win. If we don't, like you said, we're going to be a game behind in the division, and then we go, what is it? You said Pittsburgh after this, and then we go on the road to Kansas City?
And then,
what the fuck? Don't mind me.
Alarm's going off. No. Pittsburgh, and then another series with the Royals, and then we got to play the Dodgers. That was our next.
The good thing about Pittsburgh is we don't have to play Paul Skeens. He's not slated to start in those 3 games, so that's nice. Bastards out here throwing 102 for 100 pitches.
He can skeins his way out of here. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, Livy Dunn can stay. He can go. That's what I got to say.
All right, buddy. I think we got our thought. I think we got our rant out. Do you have anything else you want to add before we get on out of here and hopefully win this game?
No, I'm just hoping we can turn it around, correct fucking course here, and then because we're relying on them to be the first year in Cleveland history where all 3 teams make the playoffs. So the Guardians need to get their shit together.
Yes, exactly. And with that, that's our thoughts on the struggling Guardians. Hopefully we can win this game tonight and think vibes will be slightly better. Hopefully we see some change and a better finish to the regular season. And with that, we appreciate you guys for listening. I know that was a bit of a rant there as a more than analysis, but you know what? We got to fucking have it sometimes. Hopefully the entire team watches this.
Had to do it to him.
It had to do it to him. Hopefully... I hope Stephen Vogt watches this fucking podcast and is like, oh shit, I gotta get it together, and then they get it together. You never know. But once again, we appreciate you guys for listening.
Let's hope.
Yeah, let's fucking hope, buddy. And I gonna have more Guardians content every so often, probably similar to like this every couple weeks or so. Every week or two, we'll have some updates, and then once playoff baseball hits, we're gonna be really roaring. Or we won't be fucking talking about playoff baseball at all, but I'm not gonna put those vibes out there. And, we appreciate you guys for listening to another episode of Cold Takes from the Land, and we will see you in the next one.
Cold Takes from the Land.